In the past 32 years, Community Shares has distributed over $5 million to these groups. And what's amazing is how we've done it. Every cent of that $5 million was designated by donors themselves, mostly through payroll deduction. Community Shares was founded on the principle that the donor decides where their charitable dollars should go.
Our final honoree tonight is someone who is well known for working hard to reduce crime, create jobs, and improve the economy. But tonight, Community Shares is proud to recognize him for his history of standing up. You might even say standing tall. For what we hold most dear, social justice and a healthy environment. Despite very tight budgetary constraints, Mayor Tom Barrett has never wavered from his goal of making Milwaukee, in his words, the most sustainable city in the country. And his actions over the years have given other mayors a blueprint for how to go about it. The mayor's commitment for environmental sustainability, smart growth, redevelopment started on the first day of his first term in 2004. Determined to align economic and environmental interests, he created the Milwaukee's first green team, which they're in the house too, by the way. And in 2005, adopted the team's report focusing primarily on energy and water-related issues. Since then, the mayor has overseen significant reductions in city energy use, and by 2012, the city had already implemented 87% of the Green Team's 2005 report's recommendations. Mayor Barrett established the city's offices for environmental sustainability, which promotes cost-effective environmental practices. It has developed green infrastructure solutions to the city's storm water management challenges, lighting retrofits, and energy efficiency upgrades that are saving hundreds of thousands of dollars. The city's Milwaukee Shines solar program is expanding solar energy use through a comprehensive citywide approach. It provides funding for city departments, schools, and nonprofits to add solar to their facilities. The program has also helped homes and businesses invest in solar by providing education and training. And they are building a strong local solar manufacturing and installer base. The result of this is more jobs, energy reduction, and cleaner air. This year, the city unveiled Refresh Milwaukee, Fresh Coast, Fresh Ideas. This effort is a citywide strategic vision and plan for making Milwaukee a more economic, environmental, and socially sustainable place to call home. And when New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg's Mayor Challenge asked cities to outline innovative approaches to serious problems that are faced by all major cities, Mayor Barrett went green, collaborating with several urban ag groups to develop the homegrown proposal, which earned a fan favorite runner-up award. Green roofs, solar lighting panels, solar hot water systems, wind energy, it's happening all over our city. And true to the mayor's style, these initiatives are being developed with public input every step of the way. Community Shares of Greater Milwaukee is proud to introduce our 2013 recipient of the Lifelong Commitment to Justice Award environmental category, a man who has made environmental sustainability a hallmark of his administration. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Tom Barrett.
Well, good evening. Thank you very much. They saved mine for last because they were afraid I would talk for over 2 hours. I'll try to keep it under an hour, but there are a few things I want to say. I really am honored to be here tonight. And I have two different lives. I have my professional life, where things come to my office and things get scheduled. So if you were to ask me what I'm doing tomorrow or the next day, I don't know, but my staff knows. And then there are things that happen at my home. And I was at home, I don't know, it was probably 5 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and in the mail came an envelope from Community Shares for the 24th Annual Commitment to Justice Awards. And I thought, oh, I want to see who they're honoring this year. And I opened it and I thought, well, I guess I'm going to be going. So again, I'm honored to receive this award. And I want to say a couple things about the other recipients. When Claire came up, I couldn't help but think of something that I've witnessed in our city over the last 18 months to 2 years. And Claire's been part of Public Allies. She's been part of City Year. Obviously, she's engaged in the community. And I want you to know that she speaks for herself, and she is clearly deserving of this award. But there is more energy in this city from young people now than I have ever seen in my life. And that is a statement that Claire and her peers, you look for powerful omens to the future and good things. That is a very, very good sign that young people are moving here. They want to live in the city. They love public transportation. They want to be near other young people, and there's an energy here that is just amazing. For Bob, my introduction to him was a little bit different, or at least my biggest memory. He came into my office shortly before the meeting they had at the convention center. And came in, and this happens to be, and I don't want to offend Bob, but I'll just be honest. I have groups that come in and present themselves as the next best thing in the world, and how they've mobilized all these people, and how all these people are going to come together. And I'm extremely polite, and I'm extremely gracious, and I'm thinking, yeah, I've heard this 1,000 times before. Yeah, you're going to produce all these people, because he came and he said, oh, we're going to have 2,200 people who are going to come to the convention center. And we're going to talk about social justice, and it's going to be from all over the metropolitan area. And I said, well, that's great. I'm really proud to hear that. That's really good news. And I'll stop by. And it was a Sunday, and I went by, and there were 2,300 people, just like he said. And that doesn't happen very often. And so when you're looking for someone who can put together a grassroots organization, Bob and his Common Ground team are just phenomenal. And so I appreciate everything you've done, the work you've done on foreclosures, the work you've done on summer youth employment, and the work you're going to do on healthcare. So you guys are fantastic. For Gabe, my memory's a little different. My wife and I, when I was a member of Congress, and Gabe probably doesn't even remember this, she gave us a little tour of her work at the zoo and the bonobos, and that was when I first had my first introduction to bonobos. If you haven't done that, it's fascinating. But when you're talking about us being 98% bonobos, I couldn't help but think, and I'm either hallucinating or not, I don't know if we got I swear to God, we got a t-shirt from you that day with bonobos on it that my wife wore as a nightshirt for about half a decade. So bonobos have been present in our home since that little tour, and I think I got to get another t-shirt for my wife because her birthday's coming up, and she would love that. For Ken and the work that is being done at Hanson Dodge, one of the things I was asked in giving these short remarks that are going to be a little longer, and I'll try to cut them off, is say something that got me interested in the environment at an early age, or something that tied into this award. And the only thing I could think of, and this will date myself, is the song, if you come to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. Some of you over 50, maybe over 60, may remember that song. It was a wonderful little song. You do remember the song? See, I knew there'd be a few out there. Yeah. And it was at the height of the hippie movement and all those things that were going on with flower power. But at that time, there was a strong belief that if you were in favor of the environment, that somehow you had to automatically be opposed to business. And if you were in favor of business, you had to automatically be opposed to the environment. And when I became mayor, I thought, we have to change this paradigm, that this is not the way it is. And I am convinced, and if you look around North America, not just the United States, but if you look at Canada as well, you will see that cities that are sustainable are growing, that are thriving, because there's a respect between sustainability and economic growth. And the work that Hanson Dodge does recognizes that. And I think it's extremely important at a gathering like this that we have a private business that employs 70 people in our community, because Many of us are do-gooders, but you can't do good if you can't feed your family. And the fact that they create jobs in the private sector is something that I very, very much appreciate. But please. But I am proud of the work that we have done in sustainability, and Matt Howard, who leads our effort for the city here, does a fabulous job. And true to what we've tried to do, he comes from the Department of Commerce in Washington, D.C., because I wanted someone who understood business and understood sustainability. And one of the programs that I'm proudest of is the work that he does with local manufacturers, our ME3 program, to make them more sustainable. And that has been a very successful and popular program. But the work we're doing on Refresh Milwaukee, the sustainability, the work we're going to continue to do on the Inner Harbor, I can tell you that there are lists of cities in terms of sustainability. And over the last 8 years, we have quietly but consistently moved up those lists so that we're now firmly in the top 10 for sustainable cities. And it's the work that Matt and his team have done that has allowed that to be possible. So I want to thank Matt for that. The other thing I want to say, because we're here tonight for Champions for Change and Community Shares, and I want to make 2 comments here. In many ways, I'm comfortable here. There are people here who I believe share my values. I think we share values with each other. But that sometimes is the biggest danger that we face. Please, please, please do not put yourself in situations where you're too comfortable. Because the danger of being comfortable is that you don't challenge yourself and you don't, importantly, allow yourself to be challenged. Because many of the issues that we face come about as a result of people who are not in discourse with other people in the community. In other words, some of the things that are happening in southeastern Wisconsin, in the city of Milwaukee in particular, are the result of attitudes or actions that take place from outside the city. And if we all just circle the wagons and stay in the city and talk to each other, we're never going to have the people who I think are powerful advocates, be able to step out and make the case for whatever issue it is, whether it deals with the environment, with human rights, with animal rights, with education. We have to be our own best advocates. And you can't be an advocate if you're talking to the mirror. And so we have to make sure that we are, again, not allowing ourselves to get in a comfort zone where we are simply talking to people that are similar to ourselves. The last thing I want to say is don't doubt your effectiveness. And I think several of the other speakers alluded to this. And whenever I hear that, I think of the challenges that we face, but I also think of our potential for change and how we can accomplish the change, and whether we can accomplish the change. And I always come back to the quote that I'm going to read you with and close with from Margaret Mead. And that is, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Please remember that, and let's continue the fight for justice. Thank you very much. Hi, I'm Mayor Tom Barrett, and I love Community Shares because it is an organization that understands the importance of citizen involvement, citizen engagement, and citizen advocacy. And it recognizes to achieve positive social change, you have to have people working together. It's a great organization.